If you've trained for long enough, you know that feeling of having one muscle group that just refuses to grow, no matter how hard you smash it. For me, that muscle has always been my chest. My shoulders responded well, my triceps grew easily, my back, legs, arms, all fine. But my chest, nothing. Year after year it lagged behind. Maybe it's genetics, maybe it's from my kung fu background, maybe I relied too much on my triceps and delts. Whatever the reason, I eventually realized something important. A standard training split wasn't going to fix this. So I switched to a specialization program, a short, focused block built around exposing one muscle to 3 distinctly different types of stress inside a single week. My brother Yanni first learned this from Charles Poliquin, but I've adapted it to the unified movement system, where hypertrophy never comes at the expense of structural balance, joint integrity, and longevity. And that's when things finally changed. For the first time in my life, my chest started to grow in a noticeable, measurable, meaningful way. Here's exactly how the method works and how you can use it too. Stubborn muscles don't respond to repetitive, predictable training. If you want rapid hypertrophy, you need strategic variation, not random variation. The UMS specialization method exposes a muscle to 3 distinctly different stimuli in 1 week. First is heavy mechanical tension, neural stimulus. Next is mid-range hypertrophy work, structural stimulus, and then finally high-rep metabolic stress, cellular stimulus. Poliquin used to say, a muscle grows fastest when it's forced to adapt to multiple pathways of stress. That's exactly what we're doing, deliberately, precisely, and repetitively every 7 days. Monday is heavyweight, low reps mechanical tension. This day is all about recruiting the highest threshold motor units, the fibers with the greatest growth potential. Heavy dips and heavy pressing improve neural efficiency, meaning the muscle contracts harder, you recruit more fibers, you fire them faster, and you create a deeper stimulus. When your nervous system becomes more efficient early in the week, your muscles can tolerate more productive volume later. This sets the stage for the midweek hypertrophy session. Wednesday is moderate weight, controlled tempo, structural hypertrophy. This day targets the actual tissue remodeling, the thickening of actin and myosin, sarcomere additions, and increases in fiber cross-sectional area. Moderate loads plus controlled tempo equals longer time under tension, which triggers more microtrauma, more satellite cell activation, more structural hypertrophy. This is the day where the muscle grows in ways you can see it. Poliquin loved this zone, calling it the money rep range for a reason. Friday is high rep work, lactate, and metabolic stress. So Friday is where you finish the week with massive metabolic stress, safely. High rep cable flies, pump work, and long sets, which increase capillarization, lactate tolerance, nutrient delivery, cell swelling, growth factor circulation, because metabolic stress amplifies hypertrophy through pathways mechanical tension can't hit. This day also improves recovery so that when Monday comes around, you're primed for heavy loading again. Put all 3 together and you get accelerated hypertrophy. So why only 4 weeks? Because it's a sweet spot. Specialization is powerful but temporary. The nervous system adapts faster than muscle tissue. So after 4 weeks, strength gains plateau, connective tissue gets fatigued, joints get irritated, metabolic recovery drops, volume becomes junk, and injury risk increases. Poliquin used 4 to 6 week cycles for this exact reason. 4 weeks is the sweet spot, long enough to stimulate rapid growth, short enough to avoid breakdown. So after 4 weeks, I go back to a balanced UMS program or specialize a different muscle group. If you want to learn more about the UMS, I've made a great video explaining it. There's a link in the description. So why these exercise selections? Here's the UMS logic. Every lift in this program is chosen for a reason. Monday is heavy pressing and structural balance. Weighted dips recruit an enormous number of motor units. Incline dumbbell pressing hits the clavicular fibers, and bent over rows maintain push-pull ratios. External rotation and lower trap work maintain shoulder integrity. This is pure Poliquin logic. You only earn the right to push heavy if you can stabilize heavy. Wednesday is fiber angles and time under tension. So different bench angles hit different portions of the pec. Flies create stretch-mediated hypertrophy, and reverse flies and rowing strengthen the scapular retractors. This is where hypertrophy is built safely. Friday is pump work and joint-friendly isolation. So cables allow higher reps without joint irritation. Rear delt work balances all the pressing volume, and external rotation ensures the rotator cuff stays strong. This produces the biggest pump of your life without compromising longevity. Can you use this method for other muscles? Yes, with one rule. This 3-stimulus method works for arms, delts, quads, hamstrings, glutes, back, but there's one rule. Specialization cannot break structural balance. If you specialize quads, you still train posterior chain. If you specialize chest, you still train back. If you train biceps, you still train triceps. If you specialize glutes, you still train hip flexors and hamstrings. The UMS principle is that everything gets trained. One thing gets emphasized. Here's my exact 4-week chest specialization program. Monday is a heavy strength day. So the goal is mechanical tension and neural drive. The primary lift is weighted dips. So the A series is A1, weighted dips, 5 sets of 4 to 6 reps with a 4-0-x-0 tempo. That means 4 seconds down and then as fast as you can up. A2 is pancake compression work and stretching. A3 is weighted pull-ups, 5 sets of 4 to 6 reps with a 3-1-x-0 tempo. And then A4 is a couch stretch. Pay attention to the tempo on the dips, slow 4-second eccentric and explosive concentric. For the pull-ups, the pause is at the bottom of the eccentric phase, but while still maintaining active scapular retraction and depression. All right, after your A series, we move to the B series. So B1 is a 30-degree incline dumbbell bench press, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps at 4-0-1-0 tempo. B2 is a 30-degree incline prone dumbbell row, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps with a 4-0-x-1 tempo. Pay attention to the pause at the top of the concentric phase in the row. Tempo matters in this program. Don't just do the reps, stick to the tempo. And then we finish with the C series. So C1 is a seated dumbbell external rotation from the knee, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps at 3-0-1-0 tempo. C2 is a prone Y raises, also known as trap 3 raises. 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps, 3-0-1-0 tempo. Wednesday, hypertrophy day. Goal is structural hypertrophy plus angles plus time under tension. The primary lift is the incline dumbbell press, and then we have flies as well. So the A series is A1, incline dumbbell chest press at 30 degrees, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps at 3-0-1-0 tempo. A2 is a loaded butterfly stretch. A3 is a single arm dumbbell row, 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps at a 3-0-1-1 tempo. And then A4 is active middle splits. Then we move to the B series. So B1 is a dumbbell chest fly on a flat bench, 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps at a 3-1-1-1 tempo. And then B2 is a bent over dumbbell reverse fly. So 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps at a 3-0-1-0 tempo. I use a foam roller on the bench to allow for scapular retraction so I get a full stretch in the pecs. And I don't bring my hands together at the top of the concentric phase because it deloads the pecs. In a dumbbell chest fly, as soon as your hands are directly above your shoulders, your pecs are no longer contracting. It's your shoulders holding the weight. So I'm pausing at the top when the pec is still contracting so that I maintain constant time under tension during the set. C1 is a high cable external rotation, 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps at a 3-0-1-0 tempo. C2 is an arch scapular pull-in, so 3 sets, 5 to 8 reps with a 1-1-1-3 tempo. Pay attention to the 3-second pause at the top of the concentric phase of the arch scapular pull-in. The mid and lower traps and the rhomboids respond very well to time under tension training. And Friday is metabolic stress day. So the goal is high reps, deep burn, and capillarization. The primary lift is cable fly variations. So the A series is a high angle cable fly for A1, 3 sets, 20 to 25 reps, 2-0-2-0 tempo. A2 is a pancake stretch. A3 is TRX or ring rows, 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps at a 2-0-2-0 tempo. Pay attention to the 2-0-2-0 tempo. That means that you're doing a slow concentric and a slow eccentric in these exercises. Then we move to the B series. B1 is a mid-angle cable fly, stretch bias. So 3 sets of 20 to 30 reps at 2-1-1-1 tempo. B2 is bent over rear delt dumbbell flies, 3 sets, 20 to 25 reps, 2-1-1-1 tempo. Pay attention to the pauses here. So we're pausing at the end of the eccentric phase and at the end of the concentric phase. So pausing when you're in the stretch position and pausing when you're in the contracted position. And then for the C series, C1 is a side-lying dumbbell external rotation, 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps at a 3-0-2-0 tempo, so controlled tempos here. C2 is a prone 45-degree incline trap 3 raise. So 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps at 3020 tempo. This was the first program that finally transformed my chest. Not because it was extreme, but because it was structured, balanced, and targeted all 3 drivers of hypertrophy inside 1 week. Monday builds strength, Wednesday builds muscle, Friday builds metabolic conditioning. And throughout the whole program, I protect my shoulders with lower traps, external rotation, rows, and mobility work. Because specialization should never come at the expense of structural balance. If you want me to create an example specialization program for your lagging body part, drop a comment below and I'll see if I can make one. And if you want to learn more about the Unified Movement System, aka UMS, I've made a great video explaining it. You can click or tap the screen there, and I'll see you in that next video.